Hundreds of mourners have gathered in Sydney to farewell political activist Faith Bandler, who died earlier this month, aged 96. Journalist Anne Summers, New South Wales Deputy Opposition Leader Linda Burney and former Labor Senator John Faulkner all gave speeches at the funeral.
Faith Bandler should also be an example and inspiration for how she worked, as well as what she achieved. Her ability to reach across boundaries of race, class, politics and opinion in the pursuit of her great aims was at the heart of her successes.
Always welcoming, always smiling, encouraging, telling us young women how proud she was of us, how important the work we were doing was, and the difference we were making.
Fighting for women's rights was a constant in Faith's political life. And as with everything else she did, Faith's feminism was very focused and very political.
Her life stands as a testament to how much one person can do to change the country they live in and the world they leave behind.
Natasha, you covered Faith Bandler's service today for the Oz. She was an extraordinary woman, wasn't she?
She really was. And look, I think that it was very, you know, she lived to a grand old age, 96 years old. I couldn't help but think when I was there at this funeral of you know, you reflect on where we're at the moment, heading towards a referendum on constitutional recognition of Indigenous people, and that 1967 yes vote was, you know, it's lauded for being enormous, but the interesting thing about it at that time is that it came with the nexus question, which was also put to a referendum in 67, which failed. And this was another question on that referendum sheet. It was an overwhelming yes vote, but when you look back at the history of that time, you know, in the coverage of the papers historically, you see that, you know, the news report in the Australian on the day after the referendum was, oh, the nexus question failed. And by the way, there was this other part of it, which was, you know, Aboriginal people counted in the census. And I think it's so much more significant to us now when we look back at that time. And, you know, we reflect on where are we at now. You know, recognition of Indigenous people, I think that we're waiting for, where it's at the moment, we're waiting for a Senate joint committee report due in the mid-year as to what the question will be. And I think once we know perhaps what the form of that question may be, it won't necessarily be the question, but they'll recommend on it, we'll know what we're trying to have a debate about here.
And Helen, just briefly, you knew Faith Bandler through the Women's Electoral Lobby?
Yes, I did. I mean, she was always such an engaging person. She was someone who was able to reach out to people of really all colours, creeds. She had a capacity, I think, a humanity about her that you rarely see. She was in somebody who has gone through her experiences. She really transcended the sorts of political campaigns she ran.
All right. Thanks for that, Helen. Thanks to all of our panellists tonight, Natasha Robertson, Bruce Haig and Helen Coonan.